Time for the favorite 11. 11 questions, cricket and non-cricket. Ready to rock and roll, Jake Perry? Are you ready to rock and roll? As somebody who loves his music, whose career is based around music outside of cricket, for people who don't know, Jake Perry's a music man. Are you ready to rock and roll, Jake Perry?
Oh, ready to rock and roll. Always ready to rock and roll.
Okay. Your favorite roommate on any cricket tour, Penny Cook or otherwise?
I have never been on a cricket tour where I have had to room with someone at all. But if I went for kind of my favorite would I go favorite teammate? Would that oh no, that's really bad.
We might have to substitute. You're gonna ruffle feathers in that way.
No, I'm just thinking
we can substitute it with.
That's not a good idea.
That's not a good idea. No, see, this is the thing I've come across with these questions.
Okay.
Even when I've asked the favorite roommate, I always get players. Do I have to pick a favorite? I'm going to piss off everybody else in my team. Why do I have to pick one roommate? Because before that, it was give me a roommate who snores or who keeps you up, who's your least favorite roommate. So I thought, nobody wanted to say who their worst roommate was. I thought I'd say, let me give you who your favorite roommate is. No, it's even worse. Now I got to pick one. Oh, you're killing me.
I can tell you my favorite batting partner. That's maybe the thing that I have some great memories of batting. A batting partnership with Dave Aisley for Penny Cook. We would often opening the batting together. Always we would have a century partnership in years rather than runs. And occasionally we did approach the century. We actually got 95 runs between us once, which was like, that was a memorable day. Yeah, Dave Aisley.
Your favorite deep fried Scottish food delicacy? What's the best thing that can be deep fried?
Well, as we were saying on the commentary the other day, there are few foodstuffs that cannot be improved by the addition of batter and deep frying. But I will always kind of go old school and have like fish, just the kind of bog standard haddock or whatever. But at a chip shop in St Andrews once, I had deep fried scallops, and they were good.
Again, as a music man, this is a two-pronged question, 3A and 3B. Your favorite piece of music, your favorite song, 1, a lyrical song, and 2, your favorite instrumental, if you want to call it classical type of music.
Wow, that's really tough, actually. Lyrical song, I'd probably go something classic. Henry Mancini, Moon River, something like that. There's or Summertime, Gershwin. Oh my word, X-rated harmony.
Summertime. Gershwin,
my favorite.
One of my first reports I ever did as a kid growing up in school. We had to pick a famous American, celebrate Americana, and one of the very first ones I ever did, and I had this elaborate report. I was in 3rd or 4th grade. The Gershwin brothers, George and Ira. Everybody forgets Ira. No respect for Ira. What about Ira? George gets all the love. Ira gets snubbed. Tin Pan Alley. There were 2 of them, George and Ira.
Absolutely. Yeah. And right. Okay. Instrumental. I would go. Now, see, I'm a huge kind of 20th century classical music person. I would go The Rite of Spring by Stravinsky, because every time I hear it, I listen to something new in it. It's a great piece of music. If you listen to that, actually, then listen to any film score, John Williams, anything. It's all from The Rite of Spring.
So Summertime by Gershwin and The Rite of Spring by Stravinsky, 2 outstanding choices. Your favorite cricket ground experience that you've had anywhere in the world?
Love Lords, I would say. You've got the museum there. You've got food-wise, it's always great. And as a spectator, get a great view wherever you are on the ground. Yeah. I mean, it's probably quite a predictable sort of answer, but it's one it's a ground that I really love. And then if I was choosing a Scottish ground, favorite Scottish ground, I'm going to go Meikle-Riggs. I love Meikle-Riggs as a ground, which is Fergusley's ground in Paisley. Again, it's a really nice setting. There's a road that runs just down by it. You just, as you come around, as you're driving down to it, you look over the ground. It's the one I talk about in the Secret Games where Vijay Mandrake played. And they put tarpaulins around all the trees, all the way around the ground, so that people couldn't see for free. They would be charging people to come in to watch Mandrake play. So yeah, but there was lovely, so many amazing grounds in Scotland. Albert Park, that's another one actually.
Your favorite cricketer of all time?
Very personal choice. If I went for a bowler, I'd say Malcolm Marshall. Used to love watching Malcolm Marshall bowl. Just looked absolutely terrifying to face. And favorite batter, it would be Kumar Sangakkara. Just that cover drive, just the elegance of that. That's why cricket is the greatest form of art. It's watching people like Sangakkara play.
Your favorite non-cricket athlete of all time?
Steve Bull, Wolverhampton Wanderers striker, legendary. From my hometown team. Oh yeah, many a happy hour watching Bully. Dreadful first touch, deadly second. Trap it on his face, then stick it in the net. Oh, it was amazing.
Your favorite place to eat out on tour away from home?
Can't go wrong with places like Nando's, things like that. Always good in there. But I've kind of made a recent discovery, which is Thai food. And I know that that's like a kind of slightly strange thing to discover. Like it's kind of been around a while, but it was something that I never thought I liked, because I'd use like supermarket pastes for the green curry paste and whatever. But I was playing a show not long ago, which was the first one I played after the pandemic. So I played percussion in my other life as well. And in between the matinee and the evening performance, we went out for something to eat, and someone said, "Oh, let's go to this Thai place." And I'd never, I'd heard people talk about it, about layers of flavor, but I had this Thai kind of duck red curry, and it was like salty and sweet and sour all at once. It was amazing. So yeah, that's my latest thing. If I see a Thai restaurant, I'll seek that out just now.
Do you have a go-to menu item on the Thai menu that's your specialty that you can't go without?
I'm still kind of experimenting a little bit, but that duck red curry would be my first choice.
Your favorite beverage of any kind?
Coca-Cola, full fat, none of this diet nonsense. I would go with that.
You can't beat the real thing. And I witnessed it firsthand when I was broadcasting alongside Jake Perry for those Tri-Series matches. Jake always had either a bottle or a can of Coke. None of that diet stuff. Like you said, he had the red label, the original, the real thing in hand. I love it. Your favorite pizza topping?
Ham and mushroom.
Got a hybrid, not ham and pineapple, ham and mushroom.
No, I don't mind ham and pineapple, but ham and mushroom. Although we had on the Cricket Scotland podcast Becky Glenn on recently, and we asked, would you have pineapple on pizza? Because that's what you ask. And she said, oh yeah, definitely. And mango on pizza, she said. Game changer is how she described it. I've never crossed my mind, mango, but according to Becky, mango on pizza is the way forward.
Nando's, one of the recent flavor additions that you can choose from, mango and lime. It used to be lemon and herb was their standard mild option. Now they've added mango and lime recently, and I've had the mango and lime. It's not universally available. You got to go to certain places to find it, but it is quite good. I do enjoy the mango and lime, so I could kind of theorize and conceptualize why you might have mango on pizza. Interesting. Your favorite movie of all time, and I might have a 1 and a 1A or a 10 and 10A. We're up to question 10. Your favorite movie of all time, and your favorite movie with a musical score that makes it your favorite movie.
That makes life easier. Love movies. As we were saying, I love kind of things like Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy and all that kind of stuff. I think probably my favorite movie and my favorite movie film score would both come from Hitchcock. I think my favorite movie, North by Northwest, Cary Grant, absolute classic, great score by Bernard Herrmann. And then my favorite film score will be Psycho, again, Bernard Herrmann, which is just genius. I mean, we talked about John Williams and how, with Jaws, the shark exists as music for the majority of the film, and by the time you see the shark the first time, you're scared of it. Well, Psycho as well tells you so much through its music that the pictures don't tell you. That's why film is, I suppose, the second greatest art form after cricket, in that it kind of envelops all of the senses. You've got your your sight and sound with dialogue, and then you've got the music that kind of involves you emotionally in it as well. It engages that other layer of you in the experience. And yeah, I think the Psycho score, Bernard Herrmann does that brilliantly. Shower scene, all of that stuff.
It's incredible. You talk about Jaws and then Psycho. So Jaws, you just got the two notes. Da-na, da-na. And then Psycho, almost identical. There's just this kind of screech produced by music. And
Yeah,
same thing. It's just one note, just kind of repeated,
yeah,
the repetition. And the repetition is there with Jaws, but the value of repetition, there's so many scores and musical compositions where it's repetition just in different
yeah.
notes, but the repetition is what
And
makes it just stand out, and
yeah,
just the core structure, and the two of them, the repetition that and how it's elevates what's
yeah.
on
And
screen.
the thing about that as well, that the shower scene music, it's what does it sound like? It sounds like bird cries. And what have we just seen? We've seen that Norman stuffs birds. The music tells you who the killer is. Oh, sorry, spoilers. But yeah, so the music tells you. It sets it up in the same way that that sequence with the drive, you know, to the motel sets it up. You know exactly what's going to happen, because you've got the scene where, you know, Marion is playing in her head the conversations of people behind her as they're unraveling the fact that she's stolen this money and is running away with it. But the music that underscores it isn't of chase or anything like that. It's of panic. It's of sheer panic. And then I'm always struck by that bit where she's driving and it's nighttime, and then the glare, and then it starts raining, and the rain is hitting the windscreen or the windshield, and like showering against the windscreen, and she's turning on the windscreen wipers, which are these metallic things flashing backwards and forwards against the showering rain. All very interesting. It all sets up beautifully. You know what's going to happen. It's great. Absolute genius. Love things like that.
Last but not least, your favorite show to binge watch?
I love Band of Brothers. That was absolutely awesome, the old HBO series. And I was a little late in discovering Line of Duty, but I was really hooked on that here in the UK as well. And I like, yeah, comedies too. The thick of it, that's always a go-to one, kind of political comedy, especially relevant these days. It all art imitating life and vice versa, you'll often find. Yeah. So I enjoy switching off with things like that. NCIS is on Disney Plus now. I'm enjoying working my way through those as well. I quite like things like that too.